Hello, little friends. Welcome to a very special story. It's a story about a smile that was lost and a dance that found it. It's about a big, quiet house, a noisy city, and how two lonely hearts found each other. Are you ready for a wonderful adventure? Great. But first, if you like stories that make your heart feel warm, please click the subscribe button and the little bell. That way you never miss a story. Okay, everyone get cozy. Now let's begin. Once upon a time, in a big, busy city, there was a man named Mr. Sam. And Mr. Sam was very, very rich. Can you imagine the biggest house you've ever seen? Well, Mr. Sam's house was even bigger. It was white and shiny, and it sat on top of a tall hill. From his window, he could see the whole city below. Mr. Sam could buy anything he wanted. If he wanted 1,000 ice cream cones, he could buy them. If he wanted a real-life elephant, he could probably buy that too. He had so much money. But Mr. Sam was not happy. He was very sad. And do you know why? Because his daughter Anna was sad. Anna was 14 years old. She had long dark hair and big brown eyes that were meant for laughing. But they never laughed. A terrible accident had happened. The accident meant Anna could not use her legs to walk or run or jump anymore. She had to sit in a special chair called a wheelchair. And the worst part, the same accident took her mother away to heaven. So every day was the same for Anna. She would wake up and a nice lady would help her get into her wheelchair. She would roll over to the big window and just look out. She saw children playing tag. She saw dogs chasing balls. But she never went outside. She never played. She just felt a big, heavy sadness inside her chest. Her daddy, Mr. Sam, tried everything. He bought her the most beautiful dolls with pretty dresses. He bought her a television screen that covered the whole wall. But nothing worked. Anna's smile was lost, and Mr. Sam's money could not find it. Now let's go down, down, down from the big hill into the heart of the city. The city was loud. Cars went honk, honk. People talked fast as they walked to work. And in this noisy city lived a boy named Kofi. Kofi was 15 years old. He had no mommy to make him breakfast. He had no daddy to read him a bedtime story. Kofi was all alone. At night he would find a quiet corner, sometimes with a big cardboard box for a bed, and he would sleep under the stars. He didn't have a warm blanket, so sometimes he shivered when it was cold. He didn't have a fridge full of food, so his tummy often rumbled with hunger. But Kofi had a magic power. His magic power was dance. When he felt too sad or too hungry or too lonely, he would find a sunny spot on the sidewalk. He would take a deep breath and then he would start to move. First, his feet would begin to tap, 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 tap. Then his knees would bounce. Then his hips would sway. Soon his whole body was telling a story without any words. He would jump and spin. He would move like a happy monkey. He would glide like a bird flying in the sky. When he danced, something amazing happened. He forgot about his empty tummy. He forgot about being alone. His heart felt light and happy, like a balloon floating up to the clouds. People walking by would stop. They would smile. They would clap their hands to the rhythm of his feet. And sometimes they would drop a coin or two into his old hat. That money was for food. But the dancing was food for his happy heart. One sunny afternoon, Kofi was walking further than he usually did. He walked and walked until he came to the bottom of a very big hill. He looked up, and there it was. The huge white house he sometimes saw from far away. It looked like a castle from his dreams. I wonder who lives there, Kofi said to himself. He felt very curious, like a little mouse seeing a big piece of cheese. He decided to creep a little closer. He walked up the winding road, hiding behind trees so no one would see him. Finally, he reached giant black iron gates. He held on to the cold bars and peeked through. The garden was like a park. It had a fountain that sprayed water into the air. It had flowers of every color, red, pink, yellow, blue. And then he saw her. In a big room with a huge window, there was a girl. She was sitting in a chair with wheels, and she was looking out with the saddest face Kofi had ever seen. She looked even lonelier than he felt sometimes. His heart beat fast. He wanted to wave. He wanted to say hello. But a scary thought popped into his head. What if a guard sees me? What if they think I'm a bad boy? Fear grabbed him, and he quickly turned around and ran all the way back to the city. But as he ran, he made a promise to himself. I will go back, he whispered. I will see that sad girl again. The next morning, Kofi didn't go to his usual dancing spot. He had a mission. He walked straight back to the big house on the hill. As he got closer, he heard a sound. Vroom! The big iron gates were opening. A long, shiny black car was driving out. This was his chance. While the gates were still open, Kofi quickly and quietly darted inside like a little squirrel. He found himself in the most beautiful garden he had ever seen. The grass was so green and so soft under his old shoes. He bent down and touched it. He smelled the flowers. They smelled sweeter than candy. He was so busy looking at everything that he didn't notice he wasn't alone. "Did my father send you here?" a voice asked. Kofi spun around. His heart jumped into his throat. It was the girl from the window. She was right there in her wheelchair, just a few feet away from him. She looked curious, not angry. Kofi was nervous. He didn't know what to say. Then a playful idea came to him. He smiled a little and said, "Maybe yes, maybe no." Anna's eyes opened wide. No one ever talked to her in a riddle. Everyone always gave her straight answers. "Yes, Anna." "No, Anna." This was new. This was interesting. A tiny spark of curiosity lit up inside her. Kofi felt brave. He sat down right on the soft grass. "It's very soft here," he said. Anna almost smiled. "It's just grass," she said. "It's the best grass I've ever sat on." Kofi replied, and he meant it. He started to tell her stories. He told her about the funny cat that chased its tail in the market. He told her about the loud music from the shops. Anna listened. She asked questions. "What does the market smell like?" she asked. "Like warm bread and sometimes like fish." Kofi said, and she made a funny face. Then Anna asked, "How do you get food? Do you have a job?" Kofi said, "I do. My job is dancing. I dance and people give me money. Would you like to see? I can dance for you. It will make you happy." Anna nodded. "Okay," she said softly. So Kofi stood up. He closed his eyes for a second. He thought of happy things, and then he began. He didn't just dance. He told a story with his body. He jumped high like a kangaroo. He wobbled like a bowl of jelly. He spun around and around like a top. He was being so silly, so full of joy. And then the miracle happened. Anna was watching him. First, her eyes started to sparkle. Then the corners of her mouth twitched. And then a real, true, sunny smile spread across her face. It was a little small, but it was there. It was the first time she had smiled in years. But just then, a sound broke the magic. Vroom, vroom. A car was coming up the driveway. Mr. Sam was home. Kofi's eyes got big with fear. "I have to go," he yelled. He turned and ran faster than the wind through the flower bushes towards the big gate. "Come back tomorrow," Anna shouted after him, her voice stronger than before. Kofi heard her. He didn't stop, but he smiled as he ran. He had done it. He had made the sad girl smile. Anna was left alone in the garden, but she wasn't really alone. The garden felt different now. It felt warmer. The colors seemed brighter. She looked at the spot on the grass where the funny boy had danced. For the first time in a very, very long time, Anna had a happy secret, and she couldn't wait for the next day to come. The next morning, the sun woke up bright and early. But do you know who was already awake? Anna. She was so excited. She couldn't stop thinking about the boy from the garden, the boy who danced, the boy who made her smile. She had her breakfast quickly. "Faster, please," she said to the lady who helped her. She wanted to be ready. She wanted to be in the garden right after breakfast. She kept looking at the clock on the wall. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It felt like the clock was moving slower than a sleepy snail. Down in the city, Kofi was also smiling. He had dreamed of the big garden and the girl's smile. He found a little piece of bread for breakfast and started his long walk up the hill. His heart was beating with excitement, but also with a little bit of fear. What if the gate was locked? What if he got caught? But he remembered his promise. He had to go back. When he got to the big iron gate, he saw that it was closed. His heart sank. But then he noticed a small side gate that was open just a tiny bit. Maybe it was for the gardeners. It was just big enough for a thin boy to squeeze through. Phew, he was in. He crept through the bushes and there she was. Anna was waiting in her wheelchair in the exact same spot. "You came back," Anna said, her voice full of happiness. "I said I would," Kofi replied, smiling a big friendly smile. This became their new secret routine. Every day after Mr. Sam went to work in his big black car, Kofi would sneak into the garden, and every day Anna would be waiting for him. They talked about everything. Anna told Kofi about her life before the accident. She told him about her mom and how she used to love to paint. Kofi told Anna about the village he came from with its big, green fields and funny farm animals. But the best part was always the dancing. Kofi would dance, and Anna would laugh and clap her hands. Her smiles got bigger and bigger. They weren't just small smiles anymore. They were great big, sunny grins that made her whole face light up. One day, Anna had a surprise. Next to her wheelchair was a small basket. "I brought us a picnic," she said proudly. She opened the basket. Inside were 2 big red apples, some golden cookies, and a bottle of sweet, red juice. Anna's lunch was always brought to her on a silver tray, but today she had asked for a picnic basket instead. She gave half of everything to Kofi. "For you," she said. Kofi's eyes got wide. The cookie was the most delicious thing he had ever tasted. The apple was crunchy and sweet. They ate their picnic together on the soft grass. Kofi felt like a king. Anna felt like a normal girl, having lunch with a friend. It was the happiest lunch she had eaten in years. Meanwhile, Mr. Sam was in his big, quiet office. He had a very important meeting, but he couldn't stop thinking about Anna. She seemed different lately. When he left in the morning, she wasn't just staring out the window. Sometimes she would even say, "Have a good day, Daddy." She hadn't said that in a very long time. He was happy, but he was also confused. What had changed? He asked the ladies who helped at the house if anything was different. "Nothing, sir," they said. "She just spends a lot of time in the garden." Mr. Sam decided he would come home a little early that day. He wanted to see what was so special about the garden. That afternoon, Kofi was being extra funny. He was doing a dance where he pretended to be a robot with loose screws. He wobbled and beeped and shook all over the place. Anna was laughing harder than ever before. It wasn't a quiet laugh. It was a loud, joyful, from the belly laugh. The sound of her laughter floated through the garden like happy music. She laughed so hard she had tears in her eyes. She was holding her stomach because it hurt from laughing so much. Kofi was so happy to see her laugh like that. He was focused on making her happy. He didn't hear the quiet purr of a car engine. He didn't hear the car door open and close. Mr. Sam walked into the garden. He was about to call out, "Anna, I'm home!" But the words got stuck in his throat. He saw a boy he had never seen before. The boy was wearing old simple clothes, and he was dancing in the middle of the lawn. Mr. Sam's first feeling was anger. Who is this boy? How did he get in? Is he a thief? But then he heard the sound. It was a sound he had prayed to hear every night. It was a sound he thought was lost forever. It was Anna's laughter. He looked at his daughter. Her head was thrown back. Her eyes were squeezed shut with joy. She was laughing a real, true, wonderful laugh. The one thing all his money could not buy was happening right in front of him. And this strange poor boy was the one who had made it happen. Mr. Sam was shocked. He was confused. He was amazed. He just stood there, frozen like a statue. Just then, Kofi finished his dance with a big, spinning jump. When he landed, he looked over at Anna to take a bow. But his eyes moved past Anna, and he saw him, the rich man, the master of the house. Mr. Sam. Kofi's heart stopped. The smile was wiped off his face. Fear, cold and sharp, shot through his whole body. He was in big, big trouble. I have to go," Kofi stammered. He didn't wait for an answer. He turned and ran. He ran faster than he had ever run in his whole life. He dashed past the beautiful fountain. He trampled through a flower bed, not even caring. He squeezed through the small side gate and disappeared down the hill. The garden was suddenly very quiet. The happy laughter was gone. Anna's smile was gone too. It was replaced by a look of terrible sadness. Her one bit of happiness had just run away. Mr. Sam walked over to his daughter. "Anna, who was that boy?" he asked gently. But Anna didn't answer. She just looked down at her lap, silent and sad once more. The magic was broken. After Kofi ran away, the big white house became very quiet. The happy feeling that had started to grow there seemed to vanish like a popped balloon. That night, Anna went to bed, but she could not sleep. She stared at the moon outside her window. She missed her friend. She replayed his funny robot dance in her mind. She could almost hear her own laughter echoing in the quiet room. But now, all she felt was a big, heavy sadness. It was even heavier than before she met Kofi. The next morning, the lady who helped her came in with a big smile. "Good morning, Anna. Time for breakfast." But Anna just turned her face to the wall. "I'm not hungry," she whispered. "Mr. Sam came to see her before he went to work. He was wearing his smart suit." "Good morning, my darling," he said in his kind voice. "Who was that boy yesterday? You can tell me. Was he a friend?" Anna didn't answer. She didn't even look at him. She felt angry at her daddy for scaring Kofi away. She just kept staring out the window at the garden, which now looked empty and boring. Mr. Sam sighed. He was so confused. He had seen his daughter happier than ever, but it was because of a strange boy who sneaked into his garden. He didn't know what to do. He went to his office, but he couldn't think about work. All he could think about was Anna's sad, silent face. The days passed. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Anna's sadness grew and grew. It was like a dark cloud that followed her everywhere. She refused to go into the garden. She refused to eat her favorite foods. She just sat in her chair, quiet as a mouse. Mr. Sam was getting very, very worried. The ladies who helped told him, "She's not eating, sir. She just takes one little bite and says she's full." Mr. Sam's heart ached. He had gotten a tiny glimpse of his happy daughter, and now she was disappearing again. He called the family doctor. "Please come and see Anna," he said on the phone. "She's getting worse." The doctor came. She was a nice lady with a gentle smile. She talked to Anna and checked her heartbeat. She asked Anna to try and move her toes. She tapped her knees with a little rubber hammer. After the checkup, the doctor talked to Mr. Sam in the hallway. "Mr. Sam," the doctor said, "Anna's body is not getting weaker, but her heart is getting very sad. This is not good for her. When she is this sad, her body doesn't want to get better. But I saw something interesting." Mr. Sam leaned closer. "What did you see?" "The other day when you saw her laughing, that was the best medicine she could ever have," the doctor explained. "Happiness is like a magic power for healing. Her body was starting to respond to it. We need to find a way to bring that happiness back." Mr. Sam understood. The key to helping Anna walk again wasn't just medicine. It was joy. And the only person who had brought her that joy was the mysterious dancing boy. Mr. Sam went to his big window and looked down at the busy city. Somewhere down there was a boy who danced, a boy who held the key to his daughter's happiness. He felt a little silly. He was a powerful businessman, and he was about to go looking for one poor boy in a huge city. But he would do anything for Anna. He made a decision. He would not go to work. Instead, he would go on a different kind of mission, a search mission. He changed out of his smart suit and put on some simpler clothes. He didn't want to scare the boy again. He got into his car, but he told his driver to park at the edge of the busy market streets. Mr. Sam walked through the streets. It was loud and crowded. He felt a little lost. He saw a woman selling beautiful, colorful fruit. "Excuse me," he said politely. "I am looking for a boy. He loves to dance. Have you seen him?" The woman looked at him strangely. "Many boys dance, sir," she said, and went back to selling her oranges. Mr. Sam asked a man polishing shoes. He asked a shopkeeper. No one knew which boy he meant. His hope started to fade. How would he ever find one boy in this big city? He felt like he was looking for a single shiny pebble on a huge beach. The sun was starting to go down. Mr. Sam's feet were tired. He had been walking for hours. He felt like he had failed. He walked back to his car, his head hanging low. He was about to get inside when he heard a sound. It was the sound of clapping and some cheerful music from a radio. He turned his head. There, on the next street corner, was a small crowd of people. They were gathered in a circle, smiling and clapping. Mr. Sam's heart beat a little faster. He walked quickly towards the crowd. He gently pushed through the people to see what was happening. In the center of the circle was the boy. It was Kofi. His eyes were closed. He was lost in his dance. His body moved to the rhythm of the music. He was jumping and spinning. He wasn't the scared boy who ran away. Here on the street, he was a prince of dance. He was happy. Mr. Sam watched. He finally understood. This wasn't just a silly game for Kofi. This was his art. This was his soul. This was the magic that had made Anna laugh. Mr. Sam knew he had to act carefully. He couldn't scare him away again. But just as he was about to step forward, something bad happened. Two big, rough-looking older boys pushed their way into the circle. "Hey, thief!" one of them shouted at Kofi. Kofi's dance stopped suddenly. His eyes flew open, full of fear. "You stole my spot!" the big boy growled. "This is our street corner. Give us your money!" He kicked Kofi's hat, and the few coins inside flew out and rolled on the dirty ground. People in the crowd started to whisper. "Oh no," someone said. I always thought that boy was a troublemaker. Kofi tried to pull away, but the big boy held his arm tightly. Let me go. I didn't steal anything, Kofi cried, his voice trembling. I'm an orphan. I have no one. Please, I'm not a thief. This was Mr. Sam's chance. Kofi was trapped. The two big boys held his arms tightly. He felt small and scared. The people in the crowd were pointing and whispering. They thought he was a thief. His heart was beating like a drum alone. Again, but he was not alone. A voice, calm and strong, cut through the noise. Let him go. Everyone turned to look. It was Mr. Sam. He walked into the circle. He was not wearing his fancy suit, but he still looked like a very important man. The two big boys looked surprised. They let go of Kofi's arms and took a step back. Kofi looked up. His eyes were wide with fear. When he saw Mr. Sam, his stomach filled with ice. The rich man found me, he thought. Now I am in real trouble. Please, sir, Kofi begged, his voice shaking. Please, I am sorry. I did not mean to go into your garden. I am an orphan. I have no one. Please, I am not a thief. He expected Mr. Sam to be angry. He expected to be taken to the police. But Mr. Sam did not look angry. He looked kind. His eyes were soft. He knelt down on the dirty street so that his face was level with Kofi's. This was something a powerful man almost never did. I know you are not a thief, son, Mr. Sam said, his voice gentle like a warm blanket. I am not here to hurt you. I am here to thank you. Kofi could not believe his ears. Thank you? He was so confused he stopped trembling. Thank me? Kofi whispered. Yes, said Mr. Sam. I saw what you did. You made my daughter Anna smile. You made her laugh. I have not heard her laugh in a very, very long time. That was a beautiful gift you gave her. Mr. Sam's eyes got a little watery. But when you ran away, her happiness ran away with you. She is very sad now. She misses you. Kofi's heart jumped. She misses me? She does, Mr. Sam said. And I have a question for you, a very important question. Kofi held his breath. What could the question be? Kofi, Mr. Sam asked, would you like to come back to my house? Not to sneak in, but to come as our guest. Would you like to come and dance for Anna again? Would you like to be her friend? Kofi stared at Mr. Sam. Was this a dream? Was the rich man really asking him to come back? To be a guest? He wasn't being chased away. He was being invited. A huge, bright smile spread across Kofi's dirty face. It was a smile of relief and joy. Yes, Kofi said immediately. Yes, please, I would like that very much. Good, Mr. Sam said, smiling back. Then let's go home. Mr. Sam led Kofi to his big black car. The driver opened the door. Kofi had never been inside a car before, especially not one so clean and fancy. He was afraid his old clothes would make the seats dirty. Don't worry, Mr. Sam said. Just get in. Kofi slowly climbed into the car. The seats were softer than the softest grass in the garden. The car was so quiet he could hear his own heartbeat. As they drove up the hill to the big house, Kofi looked out the window at the city below. It looked so small and far away. He felt like he was in a spaceship going to a new planet. Back at the house, Anna was in her room. She was staring out the window with red, tearful eyes. She had given up hope. She thought she would never see her friend again. Then she saw her father's car coming up the driveway. She didn't care. She started to turn her wheelchair away from the window. But something made her stop. The car door opened. Her father got out. And then another person got out. It was Kofi. Anna's hands flew to her mouth. She couldn't believe it. It was really him. Her friend was back, and he was walking right up to the front door with her daddy. A few moments later, the door to the living room opened. Mr. Sam walked in with Kofi. Anna wheeled herself into the room. For a moment, no one spoke. Kofi and Anna just looked at each other. They didn't need words. Their smiles said everything. Hello, Anna, Kofi said shyly. You came back, Anna whispered, her eyes shining like stars. Your father brought me, Kofi said. He said you missed me. I did, Anna said, her smile growing even bigger. Mr. Sam clapped his hands gently. First, he said, we must have a proper welcome. Kofi, you must be hungry. A lady led Kofi to a beautiful bathroom with warm water and soap. He washed his hands and face. Then he was led to the dining room. The table was made of shiny wood. On it was a plate filled with more food than Kofi had ever seen. There was a whole roasted chicken, fluffy white rice, green vegetables, and a big glass of cold milk. Please, Mr. Sam said, eat as much as you like. Kofi sat down. He ate the most wonderful meal of his life. He felt like a king. After his belly was full, Kofi turned to Anna. "Are you ready for a dance?" he asked. "Yes," Anna said excitedly. They went out into the garden. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. Kofi took a deep breath. He was not scared anymore. He was happy. He was a guest. And so he began to dance. It was the most beautiful dance he had ever done. It was a dance of friendship and joy and new beginnings. He leaped and twirled under the colorful sky. Anna watched, and her laughter filled the garden once more. It was even louder and happier than before. Mr. Sam stood by the door, watching them. A single tear of happiness rolled down his cheek. He had found the magic his daughter needed, and he had found it in the most unexpected place of all. The next morning, Kofi woke up feeling something he had never felt before. It was the feeling of a soft, warm mattress under his back. It was the feeling of a fluffy pillow under his head. Sunlight streamed into a room that was his very own. For the first night in his life, Kofi had not slept on cold, hard ground. He had slept in a real bed, in a real room, inside the big, warm house. He got out of bed and walked to the window. He looked out at the garden below. It was his garden now, too. He didn't have to sneak in. He belonged here. A feeling of peace and safety washed over him like a warm shower. This was what it felt like to have a home. At breakfast, something wonderful was happening. The big dining table, which had been so quiet for so long, was now filled with noise and laughter. Kofi told a funny story about trying to use a fork for the first time. Anna giggled so hard that milk almost came out of her nose. Mr. Sam laughed a deep, happy laugh that echoed through the house. After breakfast, a new routine began. A teacher came to the house to teach Kofi and Anna together. Kofi had never been to school before. He was nervous, but Anna helped him. She showed him how to read the letters in a book. He was a fast learner. In return, during their breaks, Kofi would teach Anna new dance moves with her hands, making her wave her arms in beautiful patterns. Every day, Kofi would dance for Anna. But now it was different. It wasn't just a performance. It was their special game. He would dance, and she would clap and sing along. Her laughter became the regular music of the house. It was a sound that Mr. Sam never got tired of hearing. The big white house was no longer a quiet, sad place. It was a home filled with love and joy. A few weeks later, it was time for Anna to see the doctor again. Mr. Sam was nervous. He hoped with all his heart that the happiness was helping. The kind doctor did all the usual tests. Then she said, "Anna, I want you to try something new. I want you to look at your right foot. Concentrate very hard. Think about wiggling your toes." Anna looked down at her foot. Kofi and Mr. Sam held their breath. The room was so quiet. Anna closed her eyes. She thought about dancing. She thought about running. She thought about the happy feeling in her heart. "Now try, Anna," the doctor said softly. Anna concentrated with all her might, her face scrunched up. And then something amazing happened. Her big toe wiggled. It was just a tiny little movement, but it was a movement. Then her whole foot twitched slightly. Mr. Sam gasped. He put his hand over his mouth. His eyes filled with tears of joy. Kofi jumped up and down. "You did it, Anna! You did it!" he shouted. The doctor had a huge smile on her face. "This is wonderful, Anna. This is a fantastic start. Your body is responding. The happiness in your heart is giving your legs strength. You must keep it up." That evening, Mr. Sam watched Kofi and Anna from the window. They were in the garden, and Kofi was showing Anna how the clouds looked like different animals. He saw how Kofi cared for Anna like a brother. He saw how Kofi had not just brought back a smile, he had brought back a family. Mr. Sam knew what he had to do. He wanted to make sure Kofi would always be a part of their family, forever. He went to his study and made a very important phone call to his lawyer. A few days later, Mr. Sam asked Kofi and Anna to sit with him in the living room. He had a stack of important-looking papers. "Kofi," Mr. Sam began, his voice full of emotion, "when you came into our lives, you were a blessing. You healed my daughter's heart. You brought light back into this home. You are a smart, kind, and wonderful boy." Kofi listened, his heart beating fast. "Anna and I," Mr. Sam continued, putting an arm around his daughter, "we don't want you to just be our guest. We want you to be our family, permanently." He held up the papers. "These are adoption papers. This means if you say yes, you will legally become my son. You will be Anna's brother. You will be a part of this family forever. What do you say?" Kofi was speechless. He looked at Mr. Sam's kind face. He looked at Anna's hopeful, smiling face. A son? A brother? A forever family? It was everything he had ever dreamed of but never dared to hope for. Tears of happiness welled up in his eyes and rolled down his cheeks. He didn't need to think. He knew the answer in his heart. Yes, he cried out, his voice choked with emotion. Yes, please. I would love to be your son. He jumped up and gave Mr. Sam the biggest hug he had ever given anyone. Mr. Sam hugged him back tightly. Then Kofi turned and hugged Anna. My sister, he said, and Anna laughed with pure joy. And so the family was made whole. Kofi officially became Kofi Sam. He went to a great school and worked very hard. Anna, filled with constant happiness and the support of her brother, grew stronger every day. With time and with the help of a walker, she learned to stand again. The first time she took a wobbly step, Kofi and Mr. Sam cheered so loudly the neighbors probably heard. The rich man who had everything but a happy daughter, and the poor boy who had nothing but a joyful dance, had found what they needed in each other. They discovered that the most valuable treasures in life are not gold or big houses. The most valuable treasures are love, family, and the kindness we share. It reminds us of a beautiful proverb. The best water is that which flows from the heart's spring. Sometimes the greatest wealth is found not in the places we look, but in the loving connections we make. And they lived, not always perfectly, but always together, with joy in their hearts and a song in their steps. Thank you for sharing this story with us. If it touched your heart, please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales of hope and kindness. Until next time, may your life be filled with unexpected blessings.